Oh, it's been a hot day. It's starting to cool down, and I've been busily making sure that everything is cleaned and stuff like that. I'm currently hosing down the opal station with a little hosey thing. You can watch what I'm doing, so that the audience gets to see a good amount of opal. Yeah, so that's fun, I suppose. So I'm going to go inside also and grab some other opals because I've got a generalized, whoa, and things overflowing. Ah, I'll be right back. Right, sorry about that. But that tells me that there is something not quite right over here. Is this full up? Not at all. Not in the slightest. Has this got any water going through it? Let's see. I'll let you see what I'm doing. Basically, I'm letting this thing. You can see some vapor. Impressive. So what's happening here? Yeah, okay. So you can see some. I do that. I can see some water moving. So that's fine. So this one. What's the level on this one? Yeah. So this is 50. These are 15-litre tanks, and they should theoretically just transfer nicely. I don't know what's going on there. Okay. Oh, stop it. The usual issues. Okay, well, they look pretty full to me. Hello, whoever that is. I'm about to plug you in and put... Thank you for the like, by the way. I'm going to put the audio in, and we know that there's a moment's crackling when that happens. Right, and the next thing is to insert it into the caddy. Right side up, I do believe. This was a good idea at the time, not a good idea now. Right. What just happened? Hello? Why is it flipped up? Well done, you silly. Much better. Okay, for a moment I thought everything had frozen and life was going to be much as it usually is when I'm doing these streams. Right, caddy is in place. Now to do some sound checking. Just so that you know, it's mid-afternoon around here. Well, 5 o'clock-ish, I think. Which is probably midnight in the United States by my reckoning. So, moving this over, that high pressure hose can go away now. I can sit down here. Now, let's see how we're going with our stream functions. Just turning it on with my spare phone so that we can actually make sure I know that I'm talking. And there we go. Oh, there we go. 11 PM ain't too bad. Just turning up the volume to hear what the sound is like. Oh, there we go. 11 PM ain't too bad. Just turning up the volume to hear what the sound. Okay. I've got an extractor fan that's running. I'll just fix that up. didn't know you were Canadian. Mountie standard. If I turn this off, can I still run the other thing? Turn that on. Yeah, I think I can. Let's see if it works. Yeah, perfect. All right, so just a little bit less noise. It's been a windy day. I had to go up and repair the roof. There's always something that I have to do around here. Let's have a look and see what this opal thingy is like now. That's looking okay. Other than the fact, I think the screen door is a bit unsightly, but other than that, I've got an extra layer of security on Loki's cage. You will hear her probably during the day, just trying to get out of it, which is going to be kind of fun, but it should be okay. Philception. Well, yes. Time is relative, right? You do know that, you know those GPS satellites that run around? If you have to make sure that you account for relativity when you're doing the calculations for the distance between all of the satellites to get your GPS. Probably you knew that. And that's a nice little opal. Didn't know it was just sitting there. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so here's what we've got. Well, what I've got planned. Hopefully we've got enough water. There was this slight issue with the tanks. I don't know what that really was. Just in my opinion, they filled up too quick. They doctor filled too quick. So I'll just maneuver this around just to make sure we've got perfect stops. Got two spectators behind me, Indian miners. Alright, I saved these guys for this particular session. I spotted them last session actually. So I'll show you these guys if I can. Are we anywhere near the money shot? Down, 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 down. I've always been meaning to put a little box onto it where these are supposed to be. Try putting my hand in front. Come on, you can do this. Well, this colour there. Hopefully you'll see that. This one here has got colour as well. And there's some natural sunlight streaming in right about here. Can you see that spot? Sorry, I'm just having to wait for the delay to tell me. Okay, down a little bit. It's just a little bit too... just a little bit too high for you to see. Oh well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these first, and then just going to essentially open up the rub drawer and just finish off a few rubs. There's like dozens to finish off. Dozens? Hundreds, thousands even. So that's what I'm going to do today. A relatively simple stream. And basically we'll go until everyone's sick of it. And this cable is already giving me the irrits. There you go. So let's turn this thing on. Let's see what happens. First thing I've noticed about this particular opal, it's got a chunk of sand there. So that's the obvious candidate for destruction. Just making sure everything's in shot. I think it is. Pretty much. I'm starting to think that a phone camera is not exactly the same construction as a human eye. That's how they hand out the PhDs, I suppose. Yeah. Now, I like the film work you do with your opals, Don. I'm not entirely certain I can, grab the sun and then just, jiggle it around the background. Now, this isn't the money shot, but if you have a look at it, there's a lot of colour presuming the sun hasn't ruined everything. I'm just hanging around this particular opal. Kind of like that one. Now I'm reasonably certain it's a Cooper opal, but it's certainly, in my esteem, it kind of looks like an Ethiopian. It looks like a Wello. Just the way, I think it's the coarseness of the sand. I think Wello opal has a very specific sand texture. So I don't know why I'm doing this. I've got a project that I'll be doing for my daughter, an opal inlay for her guitar. So this might be part of that. Looks quite nice, but we'll move on to the main event, which is, well, the main event for the time being, which is this guy. You can see how all I need to really do is just straighten it out a bit. Question is, do I make a pair of them, or do I don't know. There's an awful lot of interesting things I can do with it. Yeah, I'd say pumice-like, except obviously completely different lithology, I suppose. Sorry, I'm a soil scientist, so everything that a geologist would say, I put PED instead of lith. Don't think about that too much. There's already been many jokes made about the PED part of that. I'll leave you to imagine. I just picked up a random. Okay, it was just sitting down there. I was just going to clean it away, and then I just. Yep. Gosh, the sun's getting to me, I think. Now I've cleaned up the face pretty well, and everything else is pretty much clean. My question is, I want to make 2 opals out of it, but should I? No, I'll just make it into a cab. Well, has anyone mentioned anything? So I'm going to just do what I think. I'm going to carve it's a bit wider on this side, so I'm going to carve as little as possible off this. That's why I'm not bothering with any of the usual slicing antics that I do. I'm not planning on taking much off, of course. Always subject to the vagaries of the opal. Wow, it's crumbling a lot. Okay, so around about there. Okay, this is one of the most brittle opals I've ever experienced. You've worked with Wello, Don. Is Wello brittle? We've got a few samples sitting around, but like compared to Lightning Ridge and Cooper Pedy, it's actually a lot cheaper to just work with Australian opals. So all the Ethiopian I've got is just essentially samples. So I'm not exactly anxious to touch them. Oh, okay. So once it cracks, it gets brittle, or is it the brittleness? No, chicken or the egg? Who knows? It amazes me how they're so different, to be honest. The Wikipedia articles say that opal is a mineraloid, not a mineral even. So essentially it's, you know, a bit of hydrated silica. That's about as hard as it gets, so to speak. But still, go all around the world, and even like different spots in Australia. Admittedly, Australia's big, but you get different types of opal with different properties. Not exactly what you expect from mineraloid, is it? I think this is coming along a lot better than I was expecting. One of these opals that like takes, you know, a second or two to fix up. Told you it'd be quick. I've got other opals to do. Like glass, so I tried coating glass with this setup. Very different, and quite hazardous even. Gets hot, gets sharp. Silicon dioxide, which technically is the same thing that you get in granite. One thing I'm not going to do is investigate this colour bar. It's just down here. You can see a colour bar and a crack. What I might have to do is just carve along there, just a little bit. Just to reduce the influence of that. There's some here as well. It could be webbing, not crack, but still, I'm uncomfortable seeing it there. Suppose I could put it in the microwave, watch it explode. Well, it seems to be coming out nicely. Let's see. It's almost like there's a face on there. Don't see that every day. I think that's just a colour bar. Don't think it's a crack. It so looks like a crack. It's just this white dispersed thing. We'll find out when we dop it, because if it comes off the dop in one piece, as in one chunk of opal comes off the dop, off that dop. The dop is something very different. If it comes up the duff, spider opal, does whatever a spider opal does. Yep, this opal was bitten by a radioactive spider. And quite frankly, you'd believe that in Australia, wouldn't you? Alright, so there's this guy. Perhaps you can even see some of the colour. Not a bad little start to the day. Where's that other one? So what I think has happened here is that these opals have essentially just cleaved off at these amazing angles, so they're already quite shiny. Now I'm just looking along there. I think that's just a change in angle, but it might be a crack, so let me just examine it with my own eyes. I don't see any evidence that it is a crack. What I'll do is I'll just wear down the face a little, and if you still see the line when everything's straight, then we've got a crack, I suppose. I think we're right. Okay, have a look at that end there. It's a bit of a shame. That's alright, we'll just brutalise it a bit. See how those fragments flying everywhere. It did not like that in the slightest. I'm going to carve this off at an angle, just in case I can get something else out of it. That's murder wood. As Canadian kilter the apparatus. Let's have a look and see there is something. Hang on, I'm just looking for myself first. There's something, but it's faint. So what I might just quickly do is quickly zip it around the outside. I'm Zippy Longstocking. $1 million. Right. Just notice there was a little bit of precious behind this bit. So it's a nice little 1 carat stone. That's an offcut from a larger stone. That's actually pretty decent, isn't it? Still, this thing is really brittle. More brittle than I've experienced. Even with Cooper Pedy. Cooper Pedy is brittle, just not this brittle. I would not be surprised in the slightest if I got my samples mixed up somehow. Ah, did we suddenly get a Minecraft experience? I think my kids are using the internet. I mean, no Australian ever is actually that surprised to hear that the internet quality is bad. Notoriously bad. No, it's not the crocodiles that'll kill you. It's the internet. Well, my intentions were pure. It's the way it shatters that matters. Bring this side in a little bit. Then I'm going to hack away at this bit. This is just crumbled stiltskin. Probably not hearing it, but I just heard the first of the latches getting undone by Loki. I'm glad the stream quality is better. Oh, well, this opal might even rival one of Caleb's. That's that little Cooper Petey guy. It's great to see him. I mean, probably he should be saying it's great to see us, because clearly his dad's a miner and all that. And he's a miner who's mining, I suppose. Yuck, 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 yuck. Okay, there is once again a line there. I don't think that that is a crack. I think it's not even a spider opal. And you've made that spider opal reference like a million billion times, and that's the first time I thought about it. I'm going, oh, webbing. Ah. Like Robbie Williams, humor, or. It would be absolutely awesome to get rough straight out of the mine. I've had the pleasure of getting rough straight off the road, and that's fun. In all seriousness, from what I hear, it's not actually that hard to jump a claim, but I just wouldn't feel right doing it. The trouble you get is that you need to have a lot of licensing to do the opal properly. So it costs you a couple of grand just to get yourself ready, and then you've got to make your claim and get some equipment. So I think you'll need a little bit more than a shovel. When I was working in the soil science area, we had a coring machine, and that coring machine was essentially home built, but would have cost about $50,000 to make it. Well, that's not bad, is it? Look at that. What I've got to do is I've got to just take the face down a bit. It's a bit uneven across there. So if I'm going to take it to the sandpaper, it'll be maddening to clean that face up unless I've got some semblance of straightness there. This is where it just shatters into a million fragments, I suppose. Or the colour just completely drains out of it. There is actually an issue with it. I don't mind it, but I notice that a lot of people try and cut these out. Just a dark patch sitting in on the face. When I dop it, I'll see how impacting that is. I don't think it's bad at all. But it may impact the resale value of the opal. You never know. Right on that dark patch is a very nice opal though. I'd be very loath to carve it away. Probably what gives it its pizzazz. Its zing, its grooviness. So there we go, have a look at that. Beautiful little thing. Yeah, 20 grand, probably to hire everything. And quite frankly, it might even be worth the money. Because I know a little bit about mapping and property mapping, to be precise, and I've had a look at the maps of the Hunter Valley. Sorry, when going into soil science, that's where my thesis was, the Hunter Valley. Anyway, we're going into Lightning Ridge. There are certain features which I think can be mapped and might be diagnostic, which might make it easier to figure out where all this opal comes from. But that's just a theory. Alright, here is a Riley gun. Now, the interesting thing about this Riley gun is it happens to have the same shelf that we had before, which makes me feel a little bit suspicious about what that previous opal was. It feels exactly the same. And I am now deeply, deeply suspicious that it's a belemnite. Yeah, I think we just hacked apart a belemnite. Oh well. Not much you can do about it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm pretty certain this is a belemnite. You can see that this is called lenticular cleavage right here. If you know what flint napping is, this tells me that this is somewhat harder than your average opal. That's why we're getting all of that smashing going on. Yeah, I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut along the belemnite tube, if it is belemnite at all. I think it is. Which makes this complete sacrilege. But I don't know for sure, and you know, you can't just sit there and go, it's possibly a belemnite. Oh, that's a good idea. Nothing like a little bit of high speed too. So speed it all up and it looks a lot more fun. For those playing at home, Don just said that he's doing a new opal video. I hear that the politicians in the United States have decided to let the United States be the United States, which is pretty good. Can't imagine being in a position where you're a nice hard-working citizen doing whatever you're doing, and the government just decides, you know what, we can't get our shit together, so you're not going to get paid. Sounds like a rather sucky situation for those people. Another sound of Loki trying to get out of the cage. How you going? No, she hasn't figured out the other layer of security yet. She's gotten rid of all the other locks. If she gets out, it won't be a problem. She doesn't like being out here. It's a bit scary. Oh, hello, new viewer. Hey, I was reading and I stuck my nail into the thing. Ouchie wouchies. Yeah, I'm a bit jealous of those Wellows, really, because, like, you know, you've got the reputation of Australian Kupiti opal, yada yada yada. But those Wellows, some of them, they're just really bright. As a matter of fact, the ones I've got as samples, very bright. He's still trying to. Loki can't understand it. Why is it not opening? I've done all the things. Realistically, she's just doing it to get me to look over every now and then. Believe it or not, my father had a Corella by the name of Casper. He put a combination lock on it, and Casper broke the code. When I say these birds are smart, these birds are smart. Amusing watching him do it too. And the other problem with doing things like combination locks and whatever else, they do learn how to defeat them. But they're so cute defeating them, you don't want to discourage it. You really should. Doing alright, there's a bit skew if, and I'm just trying to work out what I can do just to reorient it a bit. It is possible to reorient the crystal. This innovation will be in the next class of Starship. Thank you, Leah Brom. Star Trek quote, in case you're wondering. Geordie LaForge falls in love with a holographic married woman. Good on you, mate. If you want a relationship to last, make sure they're holographic and unavailable. Okay, so I'm just getting some paper towel just to clean down some things. Might as well clean your lens whilst we're here. Lovely. I can tell when the glass is starting to get dirty because my back starts to hurt because I'm starting to peer underneath it. There we go. So they also gave me time to reevaluate and think. What I will be doing very soon is finishing this opal off and, you know, addressing it in the morning, because sometimes just the overnight idea when you're not completely in a particular mindset, that helps you to sort out all the issues about what's going on with the stone. This one's quite a lovely one. Thank you, Riley again. He seems to be quite thick with that Pulitzer guy. I don't mind ripping off people, but Americans I'm a little hesitant about because, well, I know how an American sounds when they're trying to do an Australian accent. I presume the reverse is true. And well, yes, maybe it's Revenge on America TM. The individual Americans you're talking to, they didn't commit the crime, did they? Alright, well, I've actually managed to sort out the issues all on my lonesome, and that is probably something that I will be leaving overnight now. Look at that. It's not bad. It's okay, Dan. I'm getting fatter too. Okay, let's do the second part of this alleged belemnite tube. It just seems to me that I've been getting quite a lot of stone from not a lot of opal. Like, my return rate for what I've been doing is actually quite good. Now I see what you're doing with your opals, Don. You're doing kind of smoothing out mostly freeform kind of stuff, which means that you're about to click right into everything's going to be a cab mode, I reckon. I am quite jealous with some of the stones you got there, though. I think it's just the what you don't have principle. So you're sitting there hacking apart willows and I'm not touching willow at all. Okay, that's that side and that's that side. I think that actually is going to be the side I face on. I'll just give it a quick buzz and see what it looks like now. Yeah, I think that is the side I'll use. There you go, around about a carat, not a bad stone. So that's that. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, this is what it looks like. Still trying to figure things out. What I'm planning on doing, I'm going to cut that bit off. And I might even consider slicing it in half. I think there might be 3 stones in this one. And yeah, while I'm doing this, I may as well talk. I'll check to see what other people said first. Yeah. Well, I think it's a no-brainer, especially for people like us, when, like, I mean, theoretically, I can just drive off to Lightning Ridge, but I do have a day job, and so, oh, look at this. Wow. That's just really, really pretty. Yeah, we've just got to maximise our opal. There's no two ways about it. I might risk an American accent here because that's really pretty. There is opal in that there rock. I know it's just making rocks round, but I've noticed that opal people, if they're carving opals, they're also the sort of person that tends to, if something breaks, they don't throw it away, they repair it. Because the principles are relatively simple to them. That's why I've got this bizarre CAD machine. I know that might be a little bit on the far end of what people do, but it's not unusual to see somebody carving opal with an improvised setup, is it? Now that is just really pretty. I've got to be a bit careful because it's not quite even out. It's better. That's just stunning. I love it. I don't know why I've gotten the lion's share of the good. Maybe it's just because as you get better at opal, you know what to do with it, and you just get luckier. Look at that. That's just amazing. Oh. Yeah. I've got to avoid my water stream to get to the... Yeah. Yeah, well, when you're just getting into a hobby which may or may not, you know, prove to be something, you're not going to spend 10, 20,000 bucks on a CAD machine, are you? And freeform, that is a really difficult challenge, I think. Now, here's a question. Is this thick enough to carve in twain? I think I will, just because there's a little bit of lumpiness just on this side here. So I'll try and carve it in such a way that I'll have some opal. So it's nearly 2 centimeters, or nearly 3/4 of an inch long, 1 centimeter or half an inch wide, 1/8 of an inch on one side, half an inch on the other. What to do? I reckon that lump has to go. So if I start from here, just angle in. I think that's a bit of a fail, to be honest. So we can bring it back. You're going to hear one of the most Australian phrases, bloody flies. Ugh. Right when I was concentrating the hardest. Needed to have my wits about me. Bloody flies. And I just went full Paul Hogan there. Full Crocodile Dundee. Could be full Crocodile Hunter. Check out this little beauty. Oh, she's angry. But isn't she beautiful? Yeah, I think fixing opal is just one of those things. You'll be alright. The machine that I use is a $60 desk sander. And I learned almost by accident that clamping the Dremel was the best way for me. Obviously, as you can see, no troubles, no issues. Um, but yeah, for me, clamping a Dremel and just carving around it, that just seems to work for me. And one thing I've noticed is, if you remember Phil Mill from the Opal Mills, um, look, just so that you know, this is not an amazingly, innovative idea. It's just clamping a Dremel. But one of his mates plagiarised the idea, essentially, and that sounds so dodgy, doesn't it? It's not. But basically, he made his own version of the clamped Dremel, and Phil used it, and he said, you know what, that's actually not a bad piece of kit. So I recommend just some arrangement like this. It does work out quite well. And it looks like I've got myself another winner. I don't know what you're seeing, but I'm seeing stars. I think facing up an opal, Don, I'm probably telling Grandma how to suck eggs here, but you just get these actions and you get the muscle memory for them, and then you can face an opal no trouble. Should get my daughters out to read the comments section, especially if they're going to use up all of that internet. But one of them is busy being a TikTok star. I'm not sure how that even happened, but it did. So that's that face, which is looking pretty awesome. This face is uneven, but still awesome. So I'll even it up a bit. Yeah, maybe that's a tip that I can give if you want it. You look at it, if a bit's proud, gently cut it down. Especially with boulders, spinning stones can actually get you into all sorts of trouble because differing consistencies. The trouble you run into here, of course, is the fact that these stones are very brittle. I noticed this piece flew off it. It might not have been visible by camera. Doesn't matter which way you point this opal, it's doing alright. Yeah, I just caught myself there. I was turning the opal, I noticed one little bit was proud, and then I hung on that spot as I was doing the rest of it. So yeah, there's obviously a little bit of hand-eye coordination and muscle memory that goes into it. Now I'm thinking about it, it's I don't know if that's a natural action. Some things you shouldn't think about. Well, look at that. There we go. What a lovely little stone. Alright. Yeah, I think you're right. People do build a lot of their own stuff, and I encourage it. I think you should have a commercial version, but when I was first looking at opals, like, it just seemed that the barriers to entry were just the equipment itself. And I started with a bench grinder. I very quickly realised that that's not the way to go. So I then just got a sandpaper attachment to a drill, and I did that for a while. Then I figured out, I don't even know how I figured out that clamping a Dremel to a bench was the way to go. I'm not sure what the logical steps were in my head. I hadn't seen anyone doing anything. There was no... I think maybe I just clamped it to try and cut an opal in half, and then I realised as I was doing it that was really easy to manoeuvre the opal around it. And then I thought, you know what I can do? I can over-engineer it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one because it's not doing too badly, but it's also pretty brittle. And I can't believe the number of things I've done. What I'll do is I'll very quickly open up this drawer and grab a few cabs to very quickly smooth out, but I think, you know, 2 or 3 cabs and we'll be done. Have a look at that one, see what's underneath. They're mystery opals, so I'm always curious, always curious. That one's less mysterious, that one's less mysterious. What's this one? That one's a doublet, and it's pretty much done. What's that doing in there? There we go. What have we got here? Got a few interesting opals right here. I'll show them to you in a second. What I'll also do is I'll move over to one of my other drawers where there's just a few other old untouched opals that I've never really looked at. Okay, let's have a look at this guy. That one shouldn't take too long to fix up. This guy is probably a doublet candidate. This guy's a smasher. I don't know what this is. It's obviously a meant to be opal. This guy, you can just see a little bit of green coming through. So those are the ones I'll do. And then I'll also have a look in here, see if I can find something interesting. Oh, and a drink. Yum. Sorry about the silence, I'm just looking for something unusual. Ooh, that looks unusual, perfect. I only want to do 1 or 2 of these and I've like looked at dozens. So, another mystery, that would probably, oh, that one looks interesting too. These are all interesting from a geological perspective, not necessarily from an opal perspective. You see any of that? Oh yeah, okay. Right. Ah. Should really get a sponsorship deal for one of these drink companies. Whoop, get off there. Whoop, no, bad. Sorry, I just... Go down, thank you. Right, sorry. Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, one-handed, yeah, I can do opal one-handed occasionally. Sometimes I catch myself doing that. Not that I'm trying to say, look at me, amazing opal man, but yeah, I can believe that Carolyn would do it one-handed. And I believe that it would be a successful practice rather than anything else. And I'm hurting my back again, which means it's time to wipe the thing. Right. Just so that you know what I'm up to. I found this. So not a bad little one. Found this, which as far as I can tell is just potch, but sometimes if you slice them, you get something, but I needed doubleting material anyway. This one I think is, I don't know what to do with that, but I reckon it'll come out pretty good. This one's just got sand on it. I just want to slice that sandbar off and see what happens. This one I think is a knobby opal, and I think there might be just a touch of red on it. I'm not going to do all of these, just do one or two. This one just jumped out at me because it's purple. I picked this one up at random, but it's actually much brighter than I expected. As a matter of fact, I just quickly... You know what? I'm going to cut that end right off. I don't think that's worth it. Yeah, it was cracked. Perfect. See you around. So, what I'll do is I'll just quickly cut that like so. Bloody flies. This opal obviously wanted to be a drop, so I'm indulging it. There is a chunk of sand right in the middle of this. I'm looking for it. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm going one-handed at the moment because I'm waving flies away with the other. Is that a crack? Yep, it is. Didn't certainly like wanted to be a drop, but dropped. So, obviously this guy's going to be a doublet and a smaller one than I expected. But what can I say? Can't win them all. Another Star Trek quote is, sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. And I am being deliberately brutal with this one now. I'm trying to get rid of the inclusion there. By the way, I think, if you can do it one-handed and if it's necessary to do one-handed, all well and good. But at the end, you don't get points for style if you wreck your opal. So do whatever you're comfortable with, I suppose. Not bad one, not good, not great. This is an interesting one. I think this is when I was quite, I remember cutting this one. I don't know what to do with it now that I've done this to it. I think there was a lot of sand sitting around. I had to do this. But it was very early on in my career, so... What will I do? I think I'll just carve the face down a bit and see what we get. I get the suspicion that that might actually come good. Or not. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll carve at an angle, I reckon, because it doesn't look like this stone will be owing us much. What does that do? Well, it tells us where the problem lies. I think that we've got ourselves a facing problem. It faces that way. Let's have a look and see. Nah, I think it's just not a lot of opal. Pardon me. Whoop. Right, there we go. My own link to the live stream just decided to die. Don't know how much battery is left in this other one, so I will be wrapping things up very soon. Which means I'm not going to waste time with this one, but like, there's a nice little green one that I was meaning to spend some time with. What I'll do, I've made a decision. Genuinely made a decision. I've decided and everything. See these three? That one looks lovely. I'll very quickly round it off and then stick it into the pile. Don't want to reduce the carat count too much, but I suppose I'm a bit more experienced now. I'm trying to make sure that the stone's even. This is another one of these stones that I obviously did very, very early on. I'm looking at it and I'm going, it is an absolute beautiful stone. I'm just wondering how much I wasted. It's like I had the common sense to say something's going wrong here and just shove it in a drawer.
Are you doing live stream?
Indeed. Do you want to read out all the things?
Wait, what's recording?
What?
Oh wait, give another phone up.
Yeah. So this is my daughter, and
Hello guys.
what are you going to call yourself?
Lester.
What?
Lester, I don't know.
Lester. What?
Lester, just Lester, Ruby. I don't really care. Phil's daughter. Hello. Hello. Yeah, that's what I want to be called. Have you read some of the comments?
I have been reading them. I have to stop what I'm doing to read them though. So,
Did it cost about 34k for us in Arbor?
what? Oh yeah, I've done that.
I clamped my Dremel. I'm shaking to hold the Dremel.
Yeah.
Probably electrocuting myself.
Talked about that.
I'm a lot more comfortable now in my abilities, but I know a mistake will be made regardless.
Yeah, this is a guy, I've seen some of his opals, and he's got a reason to be confident in his abilities.
Probably dug out with a hydraulic floor digger. Oh, wait,
That was, you'll have to scroll back in the audio to figure that one out. We're talking about mining.
Being able to use both hands to move the opal is important. I'm always amazed that Colin does her cutting
So that's what that one is.
entirely one-handed. Green. Especially when polishing small things. Hello, Lester.
Yeah. Okay, so
You
this
can't
is,
see the opal, you can only see your hand.
you'll notice that he said that Don said green at one point.
Yes.
So this is the one he's talking about.
Oh. That's a nice opal.
What?
That's a nice opal.
Yeah, well I'm about to finish the stream, so
Well, yeah, you'll need to polish that one up.
it's about 1 o'clock in the United States by now, I think.
Really? It's 6 p.m. here.
Yep. That's because the world is round.
I know. And it would be a Friday there too.
Yeah, it would be. So, half past beer o'clock, I reckon.
No more. Oh. You need to pay me for this service.
Is that what they say, or you?
You need to pay me for this service. Dad, that thing is $20 should be good.
Yeah. I think that I've got to get, I've been looking at my stats. I've got 915 people on at the moment, I think.
Nice.
Subs. What?
Yep, 915.
915 subs, which is nice.
Your phone is so
But you've got to have 3,000 hours. And so when that happens, I can, activate super thanks.
How do I hire a voice actress? What?
Actually, I was reading out my script that I was writing last night.
You're writing a script?
Yeah, for one of my videos. But I was reading out my scripts, and I just decided to get the computer to read it out. It did it with a female voice. It didn't do too badly.
I'm at 55 watch hours.
What?
I'm at 55 watch hours.
Are you? Oh.
No, that's what he said.
John, yeah. He's trying to get... So what happens is I think there's a group of us, whenever he drops a video, we try and get onto it as quickly as possible and like it and talk on it and stuff, make sure that it gets as much love from the algorithm as possible.
That is bugging me so much.
Well,
The
yeah,
extra water just hanging there.
it drips down into there. It's all design. Alright,
I know the design.
so this is the last one, which is a little bit complicated actually, but we'll see how we go.
It's sad because I got my nails done. I shouldn't risk doing opals just in case my nail comes in.
Correct. Alright, let me have a look. Oh my goodness. Maybe I should have quit while I was ahead.
My last video only has 155 views, but it's a long haul for sure.
Yeah, one day you're just going to get this video, and for reasons you completely do not understand, it's just going to go pop, million views. And it'll be something stupid like, this is a shoe.
That's a good point. It's gonna be...
Whatever appeals to the masses.
I mean, yeah, with the younger generation, definitely the more weird stuff is gonna be what gets the views. I know this because
What's
I know
wrong?
this because I'm one of the younger generations.
There have been a few flies out here.
Oh, no, it was an ant on my pants.
You're a poet and you didn't know it.
Let's look it off. At least we killed the majority of those. Well, not the majority of those vines, but... Oh, we're gonna have to do some stuff over there.
I have no idea what you just said.
The vines.
The vines? Oh, yeah. We'll do that after the stream, I think.
The video about Stone had 189. About Stone 189 had 14,404,000.
Just do the numbers. Just go
1,400 views now.
1,400 views. That's not bad.
English is hard.
1400.
Oh, that's what you meant by do the numbers.
Yeah.
I know, it's nice and sweet.
This one's leaving me at a bit of a loss as to what to do. What I might do is I might actually cut it along this axis because this is...
We're just through the oak.
I don't know where it's going. What's wrong?
They can barely see the oak tree.
Yeah, I know they can.
You need a better camera.
Well, we'll get it eventually. I'm kind of happy that like the setup works at all, to be honest.
Your camera is not focused on your wheel now. See?
What?
The camera is not focused on your wheel now.
Isn't it? Oh crap! Well, how long has that been for? Is that better?
Yes, that is better.
Okay. Let me have a look. Oh man, no. Just, sorry about that, guys. But it's not a video of mine unless something's going wrong. There you are.
I'm so scared you're going to drop your phone into the water.
Well, it's a live stream.
It's
Sorry.
a live stream.
quite literally, yes. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to carve that bit off, and I'm going to face it up like that, and then
Technical difficulties are normal.
yeah, and then I'm going to carve it down there, so it'll be like that in the end.
You need a fan out here. I think.
32 degrees Celsius or 90 degrees Fahrenheit is the temperature out here. Depends on what money you're trading. Right. You can tell I'm getting tired. My cuts are not that good. And this is the point where Jack the Ripper said, I think I better quit.
Oh, there's a third person on the screen. Hello, third person.
Are you speaking in the third person or to the third person? Says Philip.
Who's certainly killing those stones.
I know. It's not a paid actor here, it's just someone massacring stones.
Is it boulder, okay?
What?
It's boulder?
Yeah, that's a boulder.
Boulders are my favorite, even though, like, they're not given the highest rep. Jack the Gripper. Dad. Jack the Gripper.
Oh, the gripper, yes. Understanding. Oh my god, ah, look at that.
I can't see it.
Well, that's a bit of a surprise. Okay, we've got to change the plan. I'm just looking at this. How do I maximise this? This is the side. This is the face. Oh, wow. Okay. See what I can do about this. Might have been. Okay, I'm going to pay attention now because this is really good. Is it the magic words, oh, last opal, that you suddenly get all of this going on? Oh, that is just magical.
There's still 10 people on the stream.
What?
There's still 3 people on the stream.
Yeah. Well, if I was watching, I wouldn't stop when the moment a magical opal just showed up.
Good one to finish with.
I reckon.
That's what Don said.
Yeah. This is a definite curtain call. Look at that. That's amazing. So naturally you're understanding that I never intended it to be faced this way at all. So I'm just trying to maximise the face. And there's a defect right in the middle of it, which is not insurmountable, but just means that extra delicacy required. I think for this one, discretion might be the better part of valor. What I'll do is I'll very quickly cut it to a decent size. Well, alia acta est, as they say, or as he said. Worked so well for Julius Caesar too. Luckily, not the odds of much. Having a look, you can see just a few echoes of that on the back half of that stone as well. But I think we've done the right thing by cutting it like that. Okay, it needs a little bit more shaping, but I think that if I mess with it too much, I might make a mistake. So I think that's where I'm going to end it. Okay. Whew. Well, that was an interesting session. Thank you very much, guys, for sharing it with me. And once again, you've managed to share a magical moment, which is pretty cool.
Excellent place to shop.
Yeah. I'm just going to quickly wipe that bit. All right. So, yeah, I think that this live stream camera is about to die too. So, perfect timing. All right. So, goodbye from me and goodbye from whatever she calls herself.
Bye.
Have a nice day, guys.